Within the lore of the Legend of Zelda series, the Triforce may be the most important element to the franchise, acting as the foundation of the world and a relic whose omnipotent power is sought as the prize of many, and has had wars waged over it time and time again. Being left behind by the gods and representing the three virtues of power, wisdom, and courage, it isn't hard to see why something like this is so important to the Zelda games. And in the struggles for the Triforce, it has been split time and time again between the well-known characters Ganon, Zelda, and Link. Now the thing is about the complete Triforce, there are many people, Zelda fans included, that believe it has been used much in Zelda's history, or at all for that matter. Well, this video aims to clear the air. Hey guys, it's HMK once again, and this video aims to show you all the wielders of the complete Triforce throughout Zelda's chronology and the history of Hyrule. Be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe for more Zelda content. So with that being said, let's dial back the clock a little bit and go to the first wielder of the complete Triforce that we know of in Zelda's history. Now the first wielder of the Triforce is a very familiar face. It's our boy Link, the hero of Hyrule. Well, specifically Link from Skyward Sword, as in this game he had to locate all three pieces of the Triforce after his heart was a complete balance of the virtues, courage, wisdom, and power in order to make a wish to destroy Demise completely and utterly in his time. And it worked! But as we all know in Skyward Sword, when that happened, Zelda was released from her slumber as a lock to protect the world from Demise. And then Girahim swooped in, took Zelda, took her to the past, and revived Demise in his own time. However, despite all of that, in the end of the game, the Triforce remains complete in Link and Zelda's own time, and they choose to stay behind in the surface world in order to protect the Triforce. And now this is where things get a little bit tricky, as the complete Triforce has not been wielded by anyone. It was protected in the Sacred Realm up until the events of Ocarina of Time, and then we know what happens in Ocarina of Time, a timeline split. So we're going to specifically focus on the downfall of timeline, as that's the most appearances of Triforce, complete Triforce wielders in any other Zelda history. So first and foremost, the downfall of timeline is when Link loses, and when he does, Ganon, or Ganondorf, takes all three pieces of the Triforce for himself from Link, Zelda, and the Triforce of Power that he already had, and completed the Triforce and became the Demon King Ganon. And then he became the next wielder of the Triforce. But he wasn't able to do much with it, as the 6 sages under the leadership of Zelda did a desperation move in order to seal Ganon and the Triforce into the Dark World, aka the Sacred Realm, that has been transformed into a living hell thanks to Ganon's influence over the Triforce. So still in the downfall timeline, flash forward to A Link to the Past, Ganon at this point still has the complete Triforce, and he's, doing mayhems in the Dark World and using Aghanim to try and get out of the Dark World. But at the end of the game, Link slays Ganon and Aghanim and everyone, whatever, and he takes the Triforce, the complete Triforce that Ganon had, for himself in order to return to the royal family. But before he does, he makes a wish on the Triforce in order to revert all the damage that Ganon and Aghanim did to Hyrule in A Link to the Past. At that point, the royal family does take control of the Triforce. Now this is where things get tricky once again. Although the Triforce was complete at the end of A Link to the Past, at one point after the Oracle games, which take place after A Link to the Past, the Triforce gets split once again before the events of A Link Between Worlds, where the Triforce of Power went to Ganon, who was still sealed up, the Triforce of Wisdom remained in the royal family, and the Triforce of Courage remained with the hero eternal, slumbering within his heart. By the end of the game of A Link Between Worlds, the Triforce of Power, Wisdom, and Courage were reunified in the Sacred Realm in Hyrule. At that point, Link and Zelda wielded it in order to make a wish to restore Lorule's Triforce. Then once again, the Triforce was left in the care of the royal family. Now rounding off events in the downfall timeline, at that point, the royal family, or specifically the good kings of Hyrule that always had the balance of courage, wisdom, and power within their hearts, used the Triforce's abilities to its fullest by making wishes to aid Hyrule's prosperity in the downfall timeline. And it worked for a while, and everything was good in Hyrule for a time. But at one point in Hyrule's history, when it came time for the king to pass down the complete Triforce to the next king, aka the prince or his son, he thought that that specific son wasn't in balance with the three virtues. So behind his son's back, he decided to split the Triforce. The Triforce of Wisdom would go to Zelda, the Triforce of Power would go to his son, and the Triforce of Courage will be broken up into 8 pieces and hidden across the land. So after that point, the Legend of Zelda and Adventure of Link follows after that, and the Triforce will remain fractured until the end of Adventure of Link, where Link returns the Triforce of Courage to the Triforce of Power and the Triforce of Wisdom. And that's the end for the downfall timeline. But how about let's go into the adult timeline? Now as we all know, the adult timeline was a timeline where Link was successful in defeating Ganondorf and sealed him away along with his Triforce of Power in the Sacred Realm, aka the Dark World. But then he returned to his own time, fracturing the Triforce of Courage at that point. Zelda kept the Triforce of Wisdom and the Triforce of Power, like I said before, remained with Ganondorf when he was sealed away. But at some point in time after Link disappeared to go back to his own time, Ganondorf resurfaced. Oh no. And his conquest for the Triforce began anew. However, there was no hero to stop him, so as we all know, Hyrule got flooded. And then we come to the Wind Waker. At the climax of its events, we have Ganondorf with the Triforce of Power, Link with the Triforce of Courage, and Zelda with the Triforce of Wisdom on top of Ganon's tower. But as we all know, Ganondorf gave Link the beatdown and took his Triforce, and then took Zelda's Triforce and took his own Triforce and completed the Triforce right before his eyes. And he was about to wield it. However, he was beaten to the punch by King Darkness no Hansen Hyrule. And then at that point, the king requested that the gods would wash away the Triforce, Ganondorf, the Master Sword, and all of Hyrule in one final ditch in order to have its history completely wiped off the face of the earth and in the annals of time. And the last game that we have known complete Triforce wielders is a mystery in whatever timeline because it's still being disputed. And that is Breath of the Wild, where the princesses of Hyrule would use the sacred sealing power. But we all debate that it is indeed the Triforce. How it got to that point and how it got known to be the sealing power, we don't know at this point in time, but we might learn it sooner or later. And there you have it, the complete list of all the complete Triforce wielders within the history of Hyrule and the Legend of Zelda. I hope this cleared up some things. There are people that has used the entire Triforce before. It's happened. And I'm eager to see who would wield its full might in future Zelda games. So guys, if you enjoyed the video and learned something, please leave a comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to HMK for more Zelda content. So until the next one, I've been HMK, get hype and stay hectic, and I'll check you guys later.